obviously, like I said, like postmodern era is like some era, like there would be like something after that and so on. But later in the same, a little bit after the quote that we like started this discussion with, we talk about the end of history. In terms of like post-aesthetic and like post-consumption. And like OJR also talks about this, like when he talks about like the masses, like, people en masse, like silent majority is like another word to describe the same thing. He talks about the mass of having no history to speak of. So I wanted to I wanted to like maybe ask if we could talk more about like what that means, like the end of history, like what does it mean for us like now, and what are maybe the potential consequences, not necessarily positive or negative, but just consequences of that in the future.
Very good. You know, we have heard so many times in different disciplines that scholars or people talk about the end of something. And the earliest thing was the photography. When photography camera was first invented, and people claim that end of painting, because we don't need to paint anymore, we just take the photos. Obviously, that did not work that way. And then, you know, today we have end of art, end of music, everything comes to the end. Not mentioning Francis Fukuyama. One point he made a claim that the end of human history, because whatever the system we have is the best ever. That's it. And obviously, it did not quite work out. Right? And even today, he probably begin to say, yeah, that was not quite right. So the truth is, there's no end. You know, the human race for how long will be, we're not for sure. We're just going to continue. There's no end. But in a particular sense, in my book, and also in Baudrillard's, I was using this concept, end of history. It's not so much an ending. It's rather, it's a pause. So in his own sense that we're in coma right now. So everything is a replaying itself, like a bad record player. It's continue playing the same song non-stop. And that is the whole idea. So what exactly meant by that? Is that once the idea of representation is destructive, and what comes with the representation as a part of representation's functioning is what we call illusion. And once the representation is out of picture, illusion out of picture, what do we have straight is a presentation. That's where we have problems. So put this way, you take somebody's picture with your cell phone, and that person, that thing you are taking, that's what we call the presence or reality. It's real. And then the picture or the painting, whatever you're making, that's the representation. So now, there's something really strange happening here. We're still doing as if we're still following the same principle. We're making representation. For instance, digital camera, high definition. So when we do the high definition, or we get into the new AI generation of images. See, if you compare those images with the previous images that we understand or we used to have, so what happened is that the new generation, AI generation images, essentially lost the function of illusion. They become more real and real in Baudrillard's sense. So what does that mean is this. When you see a beautiful thing, normally you see that in distance. There is a very beautiful flower. You see at least a foot, 2-3 feet. It's really beautiful. Once you get really close to the picture, I mean the flower, you begin to see different things instead of detail. When you get it to 2 inches away from the flower, you don't see anything as much. The flower is gone. What you see is the organic structure. Then when you put it under the microscope, you don't see anything. So that's the idea of illusion. And we're losing that now. So what do we want today? We want to get to the truth, get to the all the way, the whole thing, the final. So what is final? A beautiful flower under microscope scope. It's nothing. It's just numbers. So then, that's the kind of life we want. Obviously, we can't live that way. You have your beautiful lover. You dream about all the time. Then you get an X-ray of your lover. Are you going to love that X-ray? Of course not. So in a sense, we're losing the illusion. Illusion is the impression you have about your lover as it's a real being. That's what you enjoy. So the high definition is get to the scientific facts. You don't want all the scientific facts about your lover. That's not going to do it. You go to the hospital, get a medical report. What's so good about that? So that's where our life is going now. So we're killing, in body art sense, we're killing illusion in our life now. So everything has to be down to the basic facts, the accuracy of numbers, facts. And what that is, it gives a name, simulation or simulacrum. So you don't have to, spend weeks trying to read this book, Simulacrum. What he's talking about. I give you a secret today. You don't need to read that book anymore. You got it. It's done. So if you look at it this way, then you understand. For me, I still love my illusion of life. But you have to be careful. Illusion is not a delusion. Illusion, in a simple sense, is something it's already there. But a delusion is a subjectively reconstructed idea. That's the difference.